I'm searching out the rarest cars in America, on the back roads, hiding in barns, untold secrets of pure muscle and steel just waiting to be discovered. Gold on wheels. Oh my gosh. My name is John Hames, and it's my journey to find them. Yeah, hello gorgeous. Look at that. I am the American Car Prospector. The American Car Prospector is on the prowl. Okay, so yeah, it's a brown and white garage. It's got these 3 windows in the back.
The American Car Prospector, John Hames, has just arrived in Colorado Springs, and he's on the phone with the owner of an extremely rare car. John's not sure if he's got the right place or not, but that's nothing a little peeking in the window can't fix.
Holy smokes, look at that. Oh, it's me. What have we here? Well, I really didn't know what we had here. I didn't have a lot of information, and this little old lady didn't really know very much either. So I got to the garage and flipped on the light. And what have we here? I see knockoffs and wire wheels. It looks like it has a Le Mans windshield. It does. I mean, she talked about this thing like it was, ready for the scrap heap. I would say not. I would say more like ready for the road. I mean, this car is complete. It's got wiring. It's got all the steering gear and suspension. Looking around, it was perfectly obvious that this was a shop where somebody really cared about English cars. They had all sorts of shop manuals and special tools. They had extra wires for the wire wheels. They had all kinds of the little tidbits that it takes to maintain and operate these cars. But I couldn't really tell what it was until I pulled the tarp off. It was just a really cool, basically original Austin Healy that just needed the engine and transmission put into it, some final adjustments, and it was ready. It was ready for whatever. I mean, it didn't need anything except final assembly. Let's have a look at that interior and see if it's as complete as I think it is.
John's got his hands on a really rare car. This is a 1954 Austin Healy BN1, or often referred to as an Austin Healy 100. One of the most notable features of this great car is a swept-back windshield, which oftentimes was laid down so drivers could wear goggles and race. This 100 has a special engine which allows it to exceed 100 miles per hour. And back in 1954, going over 100 was considered crazy fast. I sure hope John can land this special car.
Yeah, everything's there. I see the emergency brake handle, the seat belts, all the gauges are in it, pedals are there. Yeah, it looks like the interior and the dash are completely done. It had the Le Mans lay-down windshield. It had a number of speed and performance parts. It had the Laycock overdrive. And this was, a $40,000 car that I think somebody would have just probably stolen from this little old lady if they didn't do the right thing for her. In Great Britain, what we call the hood, they call the bonnet, and what we call the trunk, they call the boot. So let's just very carefully see if the boot is as complete as the rest of the car. Oh, that's good booty there, look at that. That's done. I mean, there's the fuel tank. I think this car is just about ready to go back on the road, is what I'm thinking. I can't find a thing wrong with this except that it needs to be put together. I think in her situation it'd be very easy for her to be taken advantage of because she told me that she thought the car was basically like a scrap heap. This is no scrap heap. I mean, this car's ready to go on the road. It just needs to have this powertrain put back into it. Now they've done everything that doesn't have the carburetor on it. It looks like it's all ready for linkage and carburetor. It's got a starter, distributor, coil, and looks like the ignition's all there. The plugs are in it. And here's the 3-speed transmission. Yeah, and the linkage and everything is here. Here's the shifter. And this is the Laycock de Normanville overdrive. And what that did was it gave the vehicle enough gearing so that it could hit 100 miles an hour. Therefore, this is a Austin Healy 100 because it will go 100 miles an hour. Interesting to note that these transmissions were built for right-hand drive cars. So when you go into first gear, you start over here and then you shift up to second and down to third going to my left. So it's backwards for a left-hand drive car. That's why this one has that funny shift pattern, because it was built for a right-hand drive car. But I mean, look at this. This thing is absolutely complete, right down to the electronics for the overdrive. It's got all of the parts to hook the exhaust up. The engine motor mounts are here. I mean, right down to the little bitty bits. They're all here, ready to go. I mean, whoever built this engine in this car really knew what he was doing. I honestly think this car could be assembled and on the road in like, you know, maybe 40 hours of work, maybe to, you know, a week's worth of work to drop the motor in, set the rest of the body up. I don't know, you know, there's a little bit of interior work and then probably adjust the brakes and suspension, but to the right buyer, this car might be worth, you know, depending. I mean, this is another example of a car that I might not buy the least expensive one, but I probably would find the best one. And this is a really, really good car for the right person who wants to start with a nice, solid car. This is a nice, solid car. I think I'm gonna call her and tell her that, make her an offer.
When we come back on the American Car Prospector, John gets on the phone with the widow of this rare Austin Healy.
Yeah, it's John. I got in here and I got a look at this car. Babs, this is no junker. I mean, you know, he put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's almost all here and almost all ready.
And John prospects on private territory and ends up on the wrong side of the gun.
Can I help you?
Oh, hey, buddy.
John is inspecting a 1954 Austin Healy 100. And it's everything he could have hoped for. Now, John needs to get on the phone and make a sizable offer to the seller if he wants any chance to secure this rare find.
It wasn't assembled and it didn't run, but when I looked at that engine and transmission sitting there with brand new paint, all brand new tune-up parts, I looked at the car itself. It was not a full restoration, but they had gone through at some point and done the suspension, had done the interior, and had restored the body enough so that it was ready to go back together and made into a really nice driver. Yeah, it's John. I got in here and I got a look at this car. Babs, this is no junker. I mean, you know, he put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's almost all here and almost all ready. Yeah, and you've got the title and the paperwork and everything? Yeah, look, you know, even if you don't sell this to me, you need to get about 40,000 bucks for this car. Well, normally, you know, there's a lot of haggling that goes on in this situation, but I think this widow understood that she was in a situation where she really just needed to get it sold. And when I threw out the number that I gave her, I think she was delighted to take it. There wasn't any real haggling, and I couldn't give her more than that for the car. And to be honest, I couldn't really give her less. This is a great car, and it really deserves to go on the road. Yeah, 40,000. Okay. Fantastic. I had no problem at all giving that nice lady $40,000 for that car. It was a super great example, and the next owner is just going to put the engine in it and do a little fine adjustments and put that thing back on the road. Very cool car. I think we did the right thing for this little old lady too, and I think I'd do the same thing again if I had the chance. This BN1 Austin Healy is another ace in the hole for the American Car Prospector. Beautiful, beautiful example of a Colorado rust-free English sports car from the 50s. I'll bet I'll never find another one that's as good as this. Love it. Love everything about it. Love everything about this car. I'll bet we can have this car on the road in about 10 days. And I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna take it down the road.
Let's tally things up. Purchase price on this authentic 1954 Austin Healy 100, $40,000. John's prospector fee for this rare find, $3,000. This 54 Austin Healy can be worth over $65,000, making it a great investment for John's buyers at only $43,000. It looks like the American Car Prospector has done it again.
We got the car acquired, and it's going to make a really super nice sports car driver for the right person. I don't have that person yet, but I'm looking for that person that wants to own a really sweet Austin Healy. The thing I really like about Colorado Springs is that it's close enough to Denver that I can get down there in about an hour. But a lot of the car brokers and people that are looking for cars like I am don't go to Colorado Springs because it's such a target-rich environment in Denver that they just don't bother. I've got some buyers right now in Europe for some nice rust-free import car builders, and that's what I really need. I mean, I'm always ready to find a muscle car anytime, but I need like an import or a builder. Okay, what have we here? All right, now that's definitely an import. I mean, it just, I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but this is something right here. It's funny because I don't really see where a house is around here. I have no idea what's under there. Definitely import. I mean, look, that tarp's brand new. There's got to be something cool under there. She's lifting her skirt up so I can see her. I have not the first clue what that is.
There's a guy coming up the steps and he doesn't look happy, and he's wielding a shotgun. I hope the American Car Prospector can get out of this one. Stay tuned. The American Car Prospector has spotted what looks like an import car in Colorado Springs, and John is being approached by someone with a shotgun. This doesn't look good.
I have to deal with one more person on this car.
Sometimes when you're the American Car Prospector, you put yourself into a little bit of a situation. And I don't normally lift up a tarp on a car to see what it is, but I mean, there was absolutely no one around. It was the middle of nowhere. Well, just as soon as I pull the tarp up, the guy comes up off the top of the steps.
Can I help you?
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, I'm the American Car Prospector. I just was out and I noticed this vehicle sitting here. I didn't mean to offend you.
Okay, no problem.
I wonder if maybe, yeah, thanks. I appreciate you. You normally come up with a shotgun?
Not usually, but you know, these times you never know what's gonna come up here. Well, I guess.
Rear deck lid?
Louis Renault built his first automobile in 1898 at the age of 21. He demonstrated it to a group of friends when he attended a Christmas Eve party. The automobile so impressed these friends that he left the party with orders for 12 replicas. In order to efficiently produce these orders, Louis formed a partnership with Renault Ferrari, a company previously founded by his older brothers, Marcel and Fernand, and their automotive company was born. The Renault Caravel found its origin in the early 60s as a replacement for the R1092, which was known as the Renault Floride S. The Floride S originally came only as a convertible until the Caravel was introduced. The Caravel, often referred to as the 1133, saw an increase in horsepower in 1963 of nearly 100 more cc's. This pushed the maximum horsepower to a boastful 56 horsepower at 4,600 RPMs. That same year, the Caravel Cabriolet was launched, which meant that the heretofore optional removable hardtop now came as standard equipment. The Cabriolet had a small emergency rear seat, with the convertible top mechanism taking up the rest of the space, whereas the coupe had a full rear seat for two. The seats were also redesigned to increase comfort to both the front and rear passengers. In 1968, the last Caravel rolled off the assembly line. As it is considered a minor classic by many automotive authorities, a total of 34,226 were manufactured in all, mainly for the US market.
Okay, so it's a 4-cylinder. Does this car doesn't start?
It does not.
What do you think it would take to make it start?
Gas and probably a good starter. I was working on the Linky just about where I stopped.
Right. But the engine's not locked up?
Nope. No.
So there's a shot at getting it running.
I think so.
How cool is that? I love this car. It's just so different. You know, I've never seen anything quite like it. And this is a
64.
64. Very cool. How many speeds is the transmission?
4.
It's 4-speed. Does it have a transaxle?
It does.
So it actually has a transaxle. Wow. Let's look in the front.
Okay.
Even though it's not a runner, this rare 1964 Renault Caravel seems to be everything that the American Car Prospector was looking for. I guess it was worth the risk. Coming up next on the American Car Prospector, John takes a closer look at the Caravel and tries to work out a deal with this gun-toting car collector.
I'd be happy with 6,500.
Whoa, 6,500. It's a great car. It's a really cool micro car, and the values on those are pretty good right now. They really are. But I was thinking more like $1,000, buddy. I mean.
John is in Colorado Springs and trying to make a deal on a 1964 Renault Caravel. After an aggressive approach by the car's owner, John has managed to calm Steve down and take a look at the car. But before John makes an offer, he wants to see what kind of spare parts Steve has for this vintage Caravel.
I got a parts car with us at the same time.
Oh, you have some spares for this?
I do.
Can we take a look?
Sure.
Let's do that.
And I've got another convertible top.
You have an extra convertible top. Cool. I'll bet those are a little hard to find.
They are.
I want this car. I want it bad. Is that the convertible top?
Yes.
Wow, you know, I bet it'd be really difficult to find another one of those.
The frames are near impossible to find.
I'll bet. Now, so is the convertible in that one? So what do? You take the hard top off and then you can raise and lower the...
Yes.
Can we go do that?
You bet.
Cool, I love it. I love everything about this car. I'm not willing to put one penny into this car until I have a chance to look it over and make sure that it's everything that it should be, because you have no idea how many times someone represents a car to me one way, and then I go out there and really get down on my hands and knees and look at it, and it isn't what it was represented as.
I haven't done this for a while, so it should come up.
Yeah, there you go. How cool is that? I love it. Love everything about it. Really an interesting car. Really, really interesting. I honestly think this car could be made to run.
Oh, I believe so.
Does it have any pedal at all for the brakes?
Some.
A little bit?
Yeah. It's got four-wheel discs.
It has four-wheel discs.
Yeah.
In 63?
64.
64, it has four-wheel disc brakes. Wow, it's a breathtaking microcar. One of the best ones I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, what is there not to like about this car? It's so cool, it's so unique, it's complete. Probably can be made to run without too much trouble.
Front tire sits in there's a door right here. This gets released from inside, this pops down, and the spare tire's in the front.
So it comes down,
Yeah.
and then the tire comes out. Is there a spare in there?
No,
There's not a spare at the moment?
no.
I wonder, is that a special steel wheel that it uses?
I've got 4.
Oh, you have 4. I'm talking to the man, the French car guy.
Yes.
Yeah, the shotgun-toting French car guy. I finally met him. Well, let's talk turkey. I really didn't know how to price that Renault Caravel. I haven't even seen one since I was a kid. It is a really rare and unusual microcar, and the values on those have gone through the ceiling in recent years. So let's see now, you got a title for it,
Yes.
and it's pretty likely that it will run and drive. And you said this thing has 4-wheel disc brakes.
It does.
That's remarkable to me. I think what's also really cool is that even like all the lenses are here, and then you have spares for it. You've got extra seat frames and a convertible top, bumpers, glass, you know, all the stuff that we would really pay hell trying to find if we didn't have the spares. So, you know, I really get that. And what kind of money were you, you know, I mean, assuming that maybe you could get a deal working for it, what kind of money were you looking for?
I'd be happy with $6,500.
Whoa, 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 $6,500? It's a great car. It's a really cool microcar, and the values on those are pretty good right now. They really are. But I was thinking $1,000, buddy. I mean,
Yeah, I can't do it for that. I've got too much grief with my wife getting it to this position I've got now.
yeah.
About 5.
About 1,500, dude.
It may have been easy for John to get Steve to let go of the gun, but letting go of this Caravel at a reasonable price is starting to seem out of reach. After the break, we'll see if John is able to finalize a deal on this '64 Renault Caravel. Stay tuned. The American Car Prospector is trying to finalize a deal on a '64 Renault Caravel, but Steve is reluctant to counter with a sensible offer. John might have to meet Steve somewhere in the middle if he wants to secure this vintage Renault. Let's see what happens.
What kind of money were you, you know, I mean, assuming that maybe you could get a deal working for it, what kind of money were you looking for?
I'd be happy with $6,500.
Whoa, 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 $6,500? It's a great car. It's a really cool microcar, and the values on those are pretty good right now. They really are. But I was thinking $1,000, buddy. I mean,
Yeah, I can't do it for that. I've got too much grief with my wife getting it to this position I've got now.
yeah.
About 5.
About 1,500, dude.
I'll go down to 4,500.
I mean, seriously, is the car for sale?
Yeah.
$2,000.
You gonna restore it?
Yeah, I am actually. The thought had occurred to me that maybe you could put another engine in it, you know, to give it a little more contemporary, but still leave it, you know, a stock appearing,
Right.
not make it into a race car, but I mean, so that it would keep up with traffic a little more. And it's got 4-wheel disc brakes. I mean, but yeah, I'm going to restore it. I can just smell a deal's getting ready to happen right now. I love the smell of a deal in the morning.
Well, how about we agree on 2,500?
2,500, seriously? Sold.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna have to sit here today. We'll come and get it tomorrow. It's too late in the day to get the truck and trailer clear out here,
Okay.
but I promise we'll be
Not a
back.
problem.
Can you get me the title paperwork so I can look it over?
Sure.
All right, let's, I assume, is that your house down there?
It is.
Clear down there?
Yeah,
Wow, and you park all the way up here?
I do. This is my spare parking.
Oh, this is your spare parking. Okay, well, yeah, let's go get the title paperwork and have a look at it.
All right.
I appreciate it, man.
Steve put up quite a fight from the get-go, but it looks like the American Car Prospector was able to turn the tables on Steve and acquire this original, complete 1964 Renault Caravel. Let's tally things up. Purchase price on this complete 1964 Renault Caravel, $2,500. John's finder's fee on this purchase? $3,000. John will offer this car to his buyers group at only $5,500, making this another great investment. The average retail on this classic car is over $13,000. It looks like the American Car Prospector has done it again.
So this little Renault here is a really unusual find, especially in a remote location like this in Colorado. I have a hard time believing that there's another one like this anywhere in this part of the world, especially one that's nice and dry like this car is. This car could very easily be restored or made into a driver, and I'm super excited about it. Really a super cool car, really super cool that it has all of its extra parts and probably can be made to run and drive without too much trouble. I have buyers in Europe who I think are going to be delighted to find this car, and I think I made a good buy on it, and I don't think there'll be any difficulty locating someone who would really like to own this. I think maybe that this car is another ace in the hole for the American Car Prospector.
Coming up next on the American Car Prospector, Steve has another classic car that he's been keeping a secret, and it just might be for sale. We'll see if John is one and done, or if he can strike another deal.
I'm preparing to run the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. We'll have to see how I do practicing it and etc. But I'd like to race in the United States Auto Club Time Attack event. We just don't know if I'm going to be fast enough and if they'll let me do that this year or not. But I'm still going up as an exhibition racer, and I'll have to get some more seat time in the car. I'll have to be out at high plains a great deal and make sure that I'm totally comfortable. The Pikes Peak Hill Climb is a 12.5 mile course with 156 turns. It's the second oldest automobile race in the United States, next to the Indy 500. It doesn't get a lot of press in the United States for some reason. It's really more popular in Europe and Japan. I've attended over 30 times, and we always said that if they ever put any paving on the course, the race would be over. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The course is entirely paved now. It's a lot faster.
If the American Car Prospector John Hames wants to race in this event, he better have a lot of nerve. The Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, also known as Race to the Clouds, began in 1916 and has proven to be one of the most dangerous races known worldwide. The annual race is for both automobiles and motorcycles. The track measures 12.42 miles with over 156 turns, climbing a total of 12,720 feet. This race, being literally around the side of Pikes Peak Mountain, offers no safety for drivers, as they can be easily hurtled over the mountain. The overall current fastest record held in the time division is 9 minutes 46 seconds. I'm sure the American Car Prospector won't touch that record, but it is safe to say that John will have a lot of fun racing. Last year, this event had over 170 racers enter, which makes it one of the largest racer entry events in the world.
I really want to be part of it. I really think I was born to be a hill climber. I'm not that interested in wheel-to-wheel racing. It's just that hill climbing is kind of a way of life and a way of looking at things that seems to work really well for me, and I can't wait to race at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
The American Car Prospector is having a great day. So far, John has managed to secure a rare 1954 Austin Healy 100 for only $40,000 from a widow who hardly knew the value of this vintage sports car. John also wrapped up a deal on a 1964 Renault Caravel from Steve, who initially approached John with a shotgun. The American Car Prospector managed to disarm the man of his gun and his car. Now, Steve has just informed John that he has another rare French car just up the street.
Hello, gorgeous. What a really great car. It looks like it's all here.
It is all here.
This one runs and drives?
It does, and I've got spares for this one too.
No kidding. This is a 404 station wagon.
Correct.
Wow. I'm thinking that's the original paint.
It is.
You know, in Colorado, the cars just don't rust. I mean, look at that, you know. Any place else in the world, and that car would be all full of rot, all through the bottom. And anywhere there was a hole, like for this trim would be rusted, look at that. There's not even a speck of rust on those. It's got this wacky roof rack. Really cool car. I mean, look at this gigantic taillight. I mean, that's definitely pre-DOT, but that's very, very cool. It's even got the Pujo Owners Club sticker on it, Steve.
I know. Well, I bought this from the original owners.
Really?
Yeah, his parents bought it in Spain in '67, drove it around Europe for a month, and shipped it back to New Mexico, where it spent most of its life before it ended up here.
Really? Very cool. So you're the second owner?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, that's very cool. I wonder if maybe we could look under the hood.
Sure.
Let's do that. Doesn't look like it's ever been hit.
No.
Nice and straight. It's got the cool driving lights on it and that Pujo emblem. Very, very cool. I mean, they just don't build them like that anymore.
This was designed by Pininfarina.
Really? It's a Pininfarina design? Mm-hmm. I mean, because when I think of that, I think of the Ferrari Daytona. You know, not a station wagon.
Right.
But you can tell, I mean, the lines are so classic. They're so clean and elegant. It obviously had a talented designer that put it together. Did this car also come then in a four-door sedan?
It did.
Yeah.
And also a two-door convertible.
And a two-door convertible. Boy, I'd like to see one of those.
Yeah.
Well, let's raise the hood and have a look at that power plant. There you go. What is that?
That's the brake booster.
That is the brake booster, okay. And then what you have here is a kind of a slant 4.
Right. It's at a 45-degree angle.
Okay, so it's a 45-degree angle, single carburetor. And it looks like you've been in here and done a few things to make sure that it's running.
Yes, I had to add an electric fuel pump and a new starter.
And a new starter.
That's all I've done since I've owned it.
Now here's the plate from the factory, type 404 USA. No question about what that means. And you say this thing runs?
It does.
Can we start it?
You bet.
Would you mind if I started it?
You help yourself.
Let me try. Both of these cars are exactly what I'm looking for. They're original, they're complete. They can either run and drive or can be made to run and drive without too much trouble. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, is that kind of a situation where it's an unusual, rare car, it's complete, it's not all rusty, it's all there, it just needs a little bit of work to restart and put it back on the road. Okay, clutch pedal, right?
Electric fuel pump.
Electric fuel pump on.
Hit that button, hold it in.
So it's got a starter button, and this is a 4-speed on the tree? Really? Well, first time for everything, huh?
It starts every time.
Oh, this thing is so cool. I love it. I love everything about it.
Next on the American Car Prospector, John takes a ride in this vintage 1967 Pujo and tries to work out a deal with Steve. Will John secure both French classics in one day? Or will he get kicked out of the station wagon? Find out next. The American Car Prospector John Hames is in Colorado Springs, and so far the day is going well. John has already secured both a 1954 Austin Healy 100 and a 1964 Renault Caravel. Now, John is attempting to finalize his third and final purchase of the day, a 1967 Pujo 404 station wagon. John has already made one deal with the seller, and after the test drive, he expects he's going to make another.
Very cool, Steve. It feels solid.
It is. It's a good driving car. A lot of pep to it.
For the right guy, that car is an awesome, awesome car. Not for everybody, but for the right guy, that Pujo 404 wagon is a really, really cool car.
Very cool. I love it.
I would defy anyone, anywhere on the face of the earth, to find a better 404 wagon that's more complete and less rusty than that one. I think it'd be really, really tough to come up with a better car than that one.
Very cool, Steve. You ever try to make a deal on this car?
Sure, let's talk.
The American Car Prospector is just about to make an offer on this 67 Pujo 404 wagon. But, unfortunately, John doesn't know exactly how to price this rare French wagon and will have to go into the negotiation blind. Let's see what Steve had in mind.
I'm pretty sure I might have a buyer for this in Europe. What kind of money did you think you were looking for?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. How about $8,000?
No. I appreciate you, and I know that's your job is to, kind of get as much as you can for the car, and it is a really cool car. I mean, I was thinking more like 2,000.
How about $6,500?
No. How about 2,400?
Well, since you've taken the Renault, how about $3,500?
I would pay $3,500 for it. Would you sell it for that today?
I will.
So we got a 2-car French deal.
You bet.
Merci beaucoup. Love it, man.
Great.
Another ace in the hole for the Prospector. A 404 station wagon that I'm willing to bet is bound for Europe. Thanks, Steve.
You bet.
We had a good day. You got the paperwork for this one?
I do.
Now, do you have any other French cars you're not telling me about?
No, this is it.
I can trust you?
I have a French bicycle.
You do. You don't have a rare French bicycle, do you? Come
No.
on. Let's go get the paperwork
Okay.
on this one.
Well, I heard some noise, heard a car pull up, and I get a lot of people coming up here looking at these cars, and this time it's turned out pretty good. Found someone that was interested, and I sold cars. My wife is happy. The Renault I was willing to sell. The Pujo I actually had a little soft spot in my heart for, so it was a little tougher to sell, but I was going to restore the Renault and eventually sell the Pujo, but sounds like John's going to do a good job, and I'm okay with that.
It doesn't sound like Steve is very upset about having to give up his 2 French classics. Maybe it's because John might not have gotten as good of a deal as he thinks he did. Or Steve's just happy to have his wife off his back. Up next on the American Car Prospector, we'll tally things up on this 1967 Pujo 404. And we'll see how the American Car Prospector felt about his day in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
the gun away from Steve and not only make the purchase of the '64 Renault, but also a 1967 Pujo 404 station wagon. Unfortunately, John may have misjudged the value and rarity of this 404. Let's see what happens when we tally it up. Purchase price on this 1967 Pujo 404 wagon, $3,500. John's prospector fee on this find, absolutely nothing. Although John was able to make the purchase on this Pujo 404, the average retail on this car is only $3,500. It looks like this purchase was a bust for the American Car Prospector.
That's kind of how the American Car Prospector's day goes sometimes. You start the day, you don't know if you're going to take a load of rock salt, and you end up getting two cars and a really great transaction for both sides. I really hope that the new owner of that 404 wagon and that Renault Caravel really appreciate that I potentially could have been shot when I found that car. Now, I'm glad I wasn't shot, and I'd certainly take that risk again because that's what I do. I find these cars, I work really hard at it, and sometimes I get thrown out of places on my rear end. Well, this wasn't one of those days. This turned out to be a day where the guy saw it my way, and I think we had a little bit of help from his wife. It went well today. I love going to Colorado Springs, and we'll be back soon.
It looks as though the American Car Prospector has wrapped up his day in Colorado Springs. Even though John's prospector fee was withheld on his final purchase of the day, he still had a great day and made a new friend. I guess it's time for the American Car Prospector to take his wagon full of spare parts and hit the old dusty trail.
So why did the guy put the car in the oven? Because he wanted a hot rod. I guess so. A lot of things about being the American Car Prospector that not everybody understands, you know what I mean?